So this gamer is now in prison for life. Now the gamer's name is David, and David is 21, living in Germany, and bro, he's a gamer and he's really into this game called Advanced Wars. And one day in 2008, he finds this fan site dedicated to the game, and he starts spending a lot of time there in the community forum. And on the site, he meets this woman, Joanna. Joanna's 21, she lives in England, and she founded the site. And immediately, David is into her. He thinks she is fine. However, Joanna has a boyfriend, this guy, Matthew, and Matthew's 20. He also founded and runs the Advanced Wars fan site that they all use. But David doesn't seem to care. He still wants her. And over time, he becomes more and more infatuated with her. Like, he is obsessed. And he really doesn't hide it all that well. He's always messaging her on her social media accounts, telling her how amazing she is and how into her he is and how she's the only woman for him. And Joanna, she's definitely not feeling David romantically. I mean, she's happy with Matthew. They share an apartment together. Plus, David's a weird guy. Like, he's kind of an incel. And so she doesn't want to be rude to him or anything like that. So she tries to let him down easy. But David just won't stop. He keeps stalking her on her social media platforms. In fact, he goes harder. Over time, his messages get even more intense and more sleazy. And if that isn't bad enough, at some point, David decides that sending messages to Joanna isn't enough. He needs to go meet up with her in person in England. And so he somehow gets her address from another member on the gaming site. Then, without telling Joanna or Matthew what he's about to do, he travels from Germany all the way over to England. And there, he just shows up to their door unannounced and he starts knocking. And Joanna and Matthew, they aren't home, but they're walking back from a bar. And they spot him outside their apartment and they're like, what the fuck? Now, Matthew is a nice guy. He doesn't want to be rude to David. I mean, they feel bad for him. They think he's, a little off in the head. So they invite him in for a bit. Now, immediately, they realize he doesn't have a place to stay. So Joanna gets on the phone and she starts calling around to local hostels to see if they can find a room for David. And she calls, and she calls, and she calls. And she ends up calling 25 different places, but none of them have any vacancies. And so David is like, oh, that's fine, I'll just stay here with you guys. And they don't want to throw him out on the street, so they're like, all right, fine, you can sleep here on the floor for the night. Here's the thing though, their apartment is really small, so really the only place he can sleep is on their carpet, which is in their bedroom.